Then in the second half of his policy, he says we are looking into, like, I'm not going to get the verbiage right, but it was also like it was almost like he floated the new Spider-Man to see if people would be excited about
Yeah,
it.
and it's actually arguably the most important thing that he said was that he is looking into the
Hmm.
possibility of at some point descheduling or rescheduling. I mean, he didn't use either word, but he's looking at the status of cannabis, of marijuana under federal law. And several people that I spoke to were like, "Well, that's the real fucking news."
Yeah, it
Yeah,
is. Exactly, because
that's the
he's
real
the one
news.
who made all the schedules very scheduled. And so
Right,
the
yeah.
idea of him being like, and now we may look into henceforth within the terms that seem deemable inside of the conversation as we look forward,
Yeah. I
right?
mean, yes, for sure. He took up the Nixon administration's, fucking Controlled Substances Act and ran with it.
Hmm.
And now he's like, maybe we're going to back away from it, but we're going to see. So, yeah, he basically said that he's going to initiate a review. And then the Department of Justice immediately followed up with a statement saying, we're going to work with the Department of Health and we're going to figure it out. And supposedly they used the word expeditiously, which I think means quickly. So we'll see.
Cool.
We'll fucking see.
I mean, okay, so there's two things about that if we're going to talk about long term. I mean, the dude is hopefully planting seeds for the next generation of Democrats who are going to be running, right? So, like, even if he didn't get weed federally legal or whatever our pie in the sky dream is,
Mhm.
in the same way that in 84 he like did one policy and then in 89 he did another and then he had that shit on lock 10 years later,
Right.
this sounds like the type of seed being planted for 10 years from now for the next generation of our political leaders who we want to actually make that happen, possibly.
Yeah, that's a
Right?
great point. I think so. And I think it's really important that we water the seed because we shouldn't just assume that there's no going back. There's always going back. They just repealed Roe v. Wade after 50 fucking years of precedent. There's always going back. There's always a way to repeal rights. So, yes, he's planting the seed. And there's this incredible crop of candidates coming up who, Republican and Democratic, I mean, there's across the aisle support for cannabis reform. And it's really fucking cool. So, lots of people who want to work on this for the good. And then there are crazy assholes like Tom Cotton who are like, me, yuck
Sure.
me.
Right. Yeah. Oh, there's always going to be weeds in the sunflower
Yeah,
field, you
there's
know?
always going to be a fucking Ted Cruz sliming around. So,
Little
a
slugs, pour a
little
little salt on those motherfuckers.
sliming around. There's always going to be a Josh Hawley raising a fist and then running away. There's like these are who these people are. They're showing themselves. They showed themselves a long time ago. We know who you are. Go
Hmm.
fuck yourselves. More people want this than not. And we definitely, are working to end the fucking war on drugs.